June 22nd, 2014, I received a message saying happy birthday. My birthday was June 19, but yeah, I received it late, and ever since then, we never stopped chatting. Glenn was not just my husband, but he was my best friend. May 2015, he decided to come to India and see a place he thought he would never see. But he came for me 4 times. And 2 of those times he came to Mizoram, that's my home place. And he loved the culture, he loved food. And the visa process was not very easy, and it took me long, like almost 2 years to get here. 2017, April 10, I think it was, and I came here, and we got married the same month. And I find Glenn very quiet. He was a very quiet guy, but you know that he changed a lot over years. He used to come home and say that he's tired. And I said, maybe you have to go to GP and see if something is wrong with you. He used to have ear infection, and the GP used to give him just antibiotic and it just go away, but it was not solved. And we moved to Forest Lake in Feb 2018. There we met a GP. I think he was an Asian guy, and I did the talking. So I said, can we do something not just antibiotic, but something more? So he referred him to a specialist, and that's when all this journey started. And they said it might take a while, but he will be checked out. So we were waiting for that. And Caleb, when we moved to Forest Lake, I think in a few months after we moved to Forest Lake, we learned that I was pregnant, and I texted him and said to him, I texted him and said, guess what? And he said, what happened? I said, you're going to be a father. And the first thing he said to me was, my sperm still works? And so he had his first surgery, I think July 2019, and Caleb was only 7 months then. And so they used to have MRI scan just to make sure that everything is okay. And everything was good when he had his first scan, but January 2021, they found that there was a tumor in his brain, and they were quite scared because it was really big. And they called him back the same evening, and they said, if you can find someone for a moral support, bring someone over with you. And the next day we went there, and I had a little Google about this brain tumor and what kind of brain tumor are there. But then I found out this horrible one that's called glioblastoma, GBM. And it's the most aggressive kind of brain cancer, and not many people survive from that. And when we had an appointment, and they found that it was that tumor that I don't like. And I cried a lot. And I prayed to God and said, why does this happen? Because we were doing quite well in a way that we went back to church, and Glenn was happy with God, and this is a very shock to us. it was very shock, and we could not deal with it. But I prayed a lot, and I said we have to find God again, because I started doubting the existence of God. I said, why is this happening to us? And Glenn said, what did I do to deserve this? But then our journey was a little bit rocky in the beginning, but then he found his way back to God. And like you heard, that he was a very dedicated person, and he loved his church. And we know that it wasn't easy for him throughout the journey. It was hard for him to go to work and to be in the church, but the most important thing to his life was the church and his work. And he loved us, the family. He loved his son, he loved me, and he it doesn't end there. He was a fighter, and I'm very proud of him. I'm proud to be his wife. June 19, 2022. That was my birthday. Everything happened on June here. June 19 was, he complained about his ear pain, and he said, I have to go to see GP, and I have the antibiotic again. After operation, he started having the same symptom that he used to have. I think it started on Thursday, and he kept going, and we went to church on Sabbath, and Sunday was my birthday, and we planned to go have brunch with mom and dad. But when I saw him in the morning, he was in a position that I never thought he would be. He was, I don't know, it was scary, and his body was starting to shut down. So it was meningitis. The brain tumor as well as meningitis it's a death sentence. But God was good to us and always is, and I know he will be with us. The same year, due to his meningitis, there was a build-up in his brain. They have to drain. They call it Burhole subdural hematoma. And like we heard, he got baptized again, and he found his way back to the church, and he's so happy. He was so happy, and he said that whatever happened, he said God will be with me. Even if I go, the next thing I see is the face of Jesus. And end of 2023, he got some kind of infection again, and we had to call ambulance. I think it was almost towards the New Year Eve. I can't remember the date. And he was always, every year he was admitted in the hospital. 2024 was the last surgery that he had. Every 3 months, due to his brain tumor, they need to make sure that the tumor did not come back, and they have to have a scan. And throughout that time, every time he had a scan, anything, he would chat with me. He would show me a selfie and a happy face all the time. And I never heard him complain about what had happened to him, and never get angry with God for it. And the last scan that he had was November 2024. They found out that his tumor came back. They had an appointment in January 2025. And he had oral chemo for 1 month, and they found that there was a brain hemorrhage as well. And they said, that's pretty much it for you. And sometimes the hospital can be very straightforward. And he acted tough, but I know deep inside he was afraid too. So he was afraid that he'll leave us so soon. And he texted me at night and he said, he called me Mommy because Caleb would call me Mom and said, Mommy, take me home. I don't want to be here in hospital. But they transferred straight to palliative care because the doctor said that there's no point of having surgery or chemo or any kind of available treatment was stopped for him. So the palliative care doctors came and they talked to me and said, do you have help at home? And who lives with you? And I said, it's only me and a little boy, 6-year-old Caleb. And they said, you know, he was deteriorating really quickly. He started losing his strength on his left arms and legs. He could not move. And they were worried about me because I'm just barely 5 foot. And to take care of someone like that. And everything else at home was not going to be easy. They said he's about 6 to 7 people work. And how are you going to handle it? And he said he wanted to go home, so I said, I want to take him home. I don't know how it's going to happen, but it will be okay. We got support. Our neighbors they're really good. We have support from church, community, and family. And they gave me this power of attorney and advance health directive to fill up. And I never knew it's such a complication to die. You have to fill all this form and they'll ask you questions, like sensitive questions like, what kind of music you want to play when you take your last breath? And who do you want to be there and not be there? And it was so hard to run through those, and we have to sign everything. And I had to ask him all those. But he never complained, he never showed a sad face. And the palliative care said that we can take him to our care and he wouldn't have to come home. But I said to them, to the doctors, I said, you know, we are Seventh-day Adventists, we are believer. And I know that it will not be easy, but I know God will make a peaceful death for him if he ever has to take his last breath. But I'm not going to give up my hope until his last breath. And they look at me funny because they know this brain tumor, brain cancer, with a bleeding in his brain is a very complicated thing, and the patient can be very agitated, impulsive. But I said he's gonna go peacefully. I know God will do that. And so they didn't make. There was some kind of form that they want me to sign, but I said I wouldn't need that, and I'm not going to put any one of you in trouble if anything bad happened. So they make an arrangement. They said, if you want to take him home, then we make an arrangement for you first, and when everything is in your home, they will send him home. He came home, and they gave us toilet, wheelchair, and everything that they think we would need at home. He was a fighter. He doesn't want to sit there and wait. He want to get up, help himself. And before he asked me for help, he would do that himself. And he fell down a lot. Hit his body, sometimes his head. And we had our anniversary party on 27th April. It was supposed to be on the 30th, but it was easier for us to have on Sunday. And that morning he started vomiting, and that never happened before. And then we had to cut our anniversary short and call an ambulance. And they took him to hospital, and they said to me, like, he's getting worse, and it could be any day from now. And the tumor was so rapid that it took over. I didn't want to ask the details, but they said it's really, really rapid, and it's almost everywhere, spinal cord. And I don't want him to see me cry. Sometimes I would cry in the corner and ask God for help, because that's the only hope I have. And this time they said, the doctor met me again, the palliative care, the community, they met me again and said, we have to keep him here, and we can't send him home. But he said, it's very depressing for me to be here, because he sees people passing away, and he said, I want to come home. And I was waiting for a visa, applying with my sister's visa, thinking like, if she can't be here with us, then doctor might say yes. But the day they said that they can't send unless we have help at home, then I checked my mail, and my sister didn't get her visa. So I was crying that whole night, because I said to him that you're coming home soon, but I feel so helpless. I feel like all the plan that we have to bring him home failed. But after that, we end up applying for my mom's visa, and she's here now to support, and I'm grateful for that. And the palliative care, we met them again, and they said, I was like straightforward and said, I want to spend the last few days with him. I don't care about anything else, but I want him home. They can't say no to that, so he came home, and they gave us a hospital bed. And I still have to take him to school, and I don't have an open license yet, so I had to walk with him about 4 kilometers. And I would put him in the bed and said, please don't get up, just stay here until I come back home. And he loved Vegemite scroll, so I said, if you behave, I get that for you. And then when I could get home, he would say, like I said, he called me Mommy. He said, Mommy, I did not get up from the bed. I listened to you. Because the doctor said if he come back to hospital, we're not going to send him home anymore. And all those times, he was sitting there waiting on the bed. He said, I don't know what am I doing here. What am I waiting? It was a hard question. I said, look, we are waiting for the coming of Jesus. We are all waiting for that. And he really wanted to have a shower, because they said the palliative care said nothing other than bed. He said, I want to feel the water again. And we got the support from the church, and it's a crazy idea, but he got a chance to swim in the pool. And he could not hear properly anymore, and he couldn't say. And ask God that I want him here longer, but sometimes I feel that I'm a little bit selfish. Because he would look at me after I shower and he can't move. I wish I can shower him, but it was not possible for me to do by myself. And towards a few days before he passed away, he used to call his son. He used to call his son even when he was in school. He would call him and say, Caleb, and he'll look around. I think we all know how much he adored his son, especially a sanitarium colleague. And he thinks his son is the most handsome boy in the whole world. And in life, he inspired me a lot. Whenever he go to hospital, he would, even though he went through a lot, he would pray for someone next to him. And he said, I want to tell them about Jesus. He said, we have hope, but some of them don't have. And he said, how can I tell them about the hope that we have? Because they are all going through like him. We're all going through like him, and one day we're going to go. But I'm grateful to God, no matter how hard it was. Because it's because of him I'm still here. And I asked these 4 things to God, and I said, let me know. If he's going to go anytime, let me know so that I can talk to him and say goodbye. And I got a chance to say thank you for everything. And I got a chance to say that I love him. And that will be okay, because we got support from everywhere. And I've got good friends here who was always there for me. They left their children and husband and just came. And when I went to the last time he was in hospital, I asked palliative care if they can provide someone to help us at home, so that they can at least to help clean the house or help clean with whatever is needed. But they said, it's very expensive. It's not for you and me. It's only for millionaires or politicians. It's not for you and me. And I asked God, if he's gonna go, please not at night. But I want him to be surrounded by loved ones. And everything happened, whatever I asked. And the last thing I asked was, don't take him away unless I said it's okay. The last day he had his meal, I asked for forgiveness and I thanked him. And he said, if you want to make a man, give me donut. So I gave him donut. We gave him donut. But he had pineapple after that. And that day he did not sleep. And he opened his eyes and I played his favorite playlist. And he listened and sang song the whole day. And in the evening I had a shower. I came out from the shower and I saw that he was vomiting all over. And sometimes when he vomit, I change the bed and he will vomit again. And sometimes he wanted to hold it in because he knows that I was having a hard time as well. He doesn't want to make it hard for me. But I can't do this all over again for him. He could come back. But I know this is God's plan because we've been asking that your will be done. Now I know he's sleeping and we'll see him again soon. passed away on was it Tuesday, Monday, and that day I feel you can see that he was getting weaker and could not. His breathing was very shallow, and I know it was time for me to let him go and pray to God that it's okay. But it was hard. It was hard. But I can't see him suffer like that. So I hugged him and said, it's okay. And not long after that, he took his last breath. And I'm glad that he could die in my arms. The world may see that our situation is pathetic. I'm a widow, and Caleb is fatherless. But to me, it's a blessing. Because he's still in Christ, knowing that he will get up again. And his hope is what made him strong, and me strong. I don't know what's going to happen now, because everything that I know of in this country, Australia, and wherever we've been, it's always with Glenn, who was always with him. Part of me is missing now. But I'm glad that God gave us chance to know him better, not just by second hand, but first hand. I know his guidance throughout. He was always there and will always be there for us. And we also know that if our life were too perfect or is perfect, we would never know who God really is. I did not regret meeting him, even though it was only for 8 years. Because we grew together mentally, spiritually, and a little bit physically, because I gained 10 kilo plus. So, and like I said, Glenn was a good father, a good husband, and a good provider. And he never spent anything without me knowing. And everything that we decide together as a family. And I've learned lots of things from Glenn. Today I want to thank all of you for coming here. And I want to apologize if me and Glenn or our family did anything that hurt you or say anything that hurt you. Please forgive us. And I want to thank God for everything, even though it's hard sometimes. And I want to thank 8 Mountain Church and the members and Inala Church for all your support. And the Sanitarium friends and colleagues for being here today. And I want to thank my in-laws, my mother and father-in-law, brother-in-law, sister-in-law, and everyone, and all the family who came here today. I want to promise to you that I will never take him away from you. He will be your grandson, your nephew, and your cousin. And I will be here, as long as you want me to be. I want you all to be part of his family, because he's gonna need all of you. And I want to thank our Miso community our neighbors for supporting us today, and everyone who came from far away. This is a very special moment. I should be happy for being here, but I can't hold myself. I'm sorry about that. And I want to say that all our prayers were answered. Sometimes we don't get it right away, but I know that in the next resurrection day, they will be running around, can see me, they will be able to see me again. Where there is no more hospital appointments, no more sickness,